Joining us right now is Congressman Sean Duffy to talk more about all of the above. And Congressman, let's kick it off with what you think might get accomplished at the G20 in the next couple of days. Are you optimistic about a deal with China?
Listen, I think it's important to do a sit-down and have a face-to-face conversation about what are we doing in regard to trade. And let's be clear, Donald Trump doesn't impose tariffs because he's trying to protect the American worker or the American economy. He's doing it because he wants trade barriers to go away, because if we have a fair playing field, he knows that the American worker, the American farmer, the American business will thrive and grow. So hopefully with China and with other European leaders, he can sit down and start to break down some of these barriers on trade so we can get rid of tariffs and get back to free trade is my hope.
Congressman James Freeman here at the Wall Street Journal. From Blake Berman's report, looks like the weather's pretty good in Buenos Aires, so that would suggest there's a chance that Putin may be shirtless. But whether he's wearing a shirt or not, why is
great
this...
horses in Buenos Aires as well, so you can go shirtless and horses and maybe have some guns. Who knows?
Yeah, and his wardrobe aside, why is he even at this meeting? Why was he not disinvited after invading his neighbor, or at least a minor incursion last weekend?
Listen, I think that's a really good point. But I think this is the gentleman's club, and who wants to take the lead and disinvite Putin becomes the question. But outrageous in what Russia has done. And frankly, I agree with you. He probably should have been disinvited. But who takes the lead on that? Should have Trump or someone else done that? I don't know.
Speaking of being disinvited, you are also going to see Crown Prince MBS from Saudi Arabia in Argentina. Is he going to get a cold hello from the others, or what? How is the world treating MBS these days, given the murder of Jamal Khashoggi?
All the world's greatest players, right, coming together in Buenos Aires. Yeah. So the Crown Prince. Listen, I think the president. It's going to be interesting. We're all going to watch, how everyone reacts to the Crown Prince. But listen, I think that President Trump needs to make sure he sends a message to Saudi Arabia and the world that we don't stand for, ruthless murder, especially from, regimes or leadership of countries. However, we also have to recognize that in a really bad region of the world, where listen, they behead people, they cut little kids' hands off if they steal bread. This is a rough region. We want to, pick the best of the worst to be our friends, and frankly, the best of the worst, especially when you consider Iran. Saudi Arabia is the best, and we don't want to lose that relationship. I think, though we want to hold them accountable for the murder of Khashoggi.
Hey, Congressman, it's Mike Murphy. I think when President Trump meets with China on Saturday, I think one thing is we shouldn't be expecting to have a meeting and no more tariffs and everything is kumbaya after that meeting. I think that would be a mistake for the markets and for the American people to expect. I'm hoping we get a framework of a positive long-term deal. Just wondering if you have similar thoughts on that.
Yeah, and also coming from Wisconsin, you're impacted by these tariffs. Volvo has made a move today. It says it's going to slow down hiring at a new assembly plant in South Carolina because of the tariffs. The automaker was supposed to hire 1,500 workers there by the end of the year. It also scrapped its IPO. That was going to be a big deal, $30 billion, now not happening. The president is threatening new tariffs after GM announced closure of 5 U.S. plants. He tweeted this: tariffs of 25% have been put on small trucks coming into our country. It is called the chicken tax. If we did that with cars coming in, many more cars would be built there. So, Mike, you asked the right question in terms of the impact here on tariffs.
Forget about Putin and the Crown Prince. I mean, you have Chuck Schumer actually saying Donald Trump is doing something right in regard to trying to bring us back to free trade. Oh, my hair's on fire. I can't believe it.
No. He didn't say that, Congressman. He didn't say anything about free trade. He likes the fact that this is a handout to the unions. He likes the no, seriously. And to your point earlier, I'm going to push back on this. You said that this is about the tariffs are about China, Congressman. But the president likes tariffs. He is saying in that tweet, I like that chicken tax, which goes back to the mid-'60s. It was related to a fight we got into with Europe over poultry. That's why we call the 20. Yeah, that's why we call the 25% tariff we have on light truck imports the chicken tax. So he likes these tariffs, and it has nothing to do with China. That's my argument.
I love you, Dagan, but I totally disagree with you. So you look at Donald Trump, right? You have a raging economy. Things are going well for the American worker and the American family. Why would you engage in a fight in regard to free trade or fair trade for America as it relates to the rest of the world. The only reason you do that is because you love your country. And the politics of this aren't good, but the long-term rewards are great for America. And so Donald Trump realizes that if I don't put tariffs on foreign products to get a better trade deal for the American worker, a fair playing field, America's going to lose in the long run. So he's fighting the long game as opposed to the short game. All politicians look short-term to the next re-election. Not President Trump. What he's done is said, no, I'm going to look for long-term growth and success of the American economy.
Yeah, but that long game, that long game has some industries wanting more and wanting a bailout, right? I mean, you got a fallout for farmers. The president's bailout offering $10 million for Wisconsin farmers. That's an average of over $2,000 for each farmer in the state. In neighboring Iowa, there are some checks going to farmers that are only $25. Some are less than $10. So how's that supposed to be a help? And what do you see happening next for the farmers in Wisconsin?
So we have a couple issues at play. One, the prices have fallen in regard on milk because we're great farmers and we produce more milk. And when milk prices go down or milk prices go up, regardless, we milk more cows. I mean, so that's the problem. It's basic supply and demand. And right now, we sell a lot of milk to Mexico. They still have their tariffs, even though we kind of deal with Mexico and Canada. They still have tariffs on milk. And we're going to open up our Canadian market. So it's going to get better for the farmer because of what President Trump has done, especially in Wisconsin. But we grow the most cranberries in America in my district, and we have the best and the most ginseng grown in my district. And Asia has put tariffs on both of those products. And in regard to cranberries, they've spent millions of dollars developing these markets, and now they're going away because of the tariffs, the reciprocal tariffs that China's put on America and American agriculture. And so, we're trying to help our farmers get through a difficult time. And let's be clear what's happening. Our Achilles heel is agriculture in America. And so if we try to get a fair trade deal for the American worker, our counterparts around the world will always go after agriculture. And when they do, we fold. Trump has said, OK, we're going to engage in this fight, and to sustain the political fight at home, we got to make sure we prop up ag. Though we don't want to, we're going to, because I want to be able to survive long term here in regard to the trade fight.
Congressman, last thing, I should have said an attack, not an invasion on those Ukrainian forces, but this question of where do we go from here, is this trying to get open markets around the world, or is it just about advantaging U.S. manufacturing?
No, this is about open markets. Because I think the president, I think all you at the table agree that if you have free and fair trade, the American worker, the American manufacturer, the American farmer will win. We're the smartest and the best in the world, but we can't do it when you have unfair trade deals.